Well, hello. Um, it's about time I do a video anyways. How are you? I hope you're all well. Um, in that pretty painting, my friend Thomas's grandfather painted that. And that's the Yarvsu Shurkan. It's this beautiful cathedral north here in a town called Yarvsu. And the most beautiful place, most stunning. Oh, and the acoustics are unbelievable. And such a beautiful choir. And the music that comes out of there is just some of the best in Sweden, and I can't wait to perform there. And I have several times, and I look forward to doing that. And anyways, I just wanted to just check in, and I something just happened that I'm still in shock about, and to come home from the hospital yesterday. No, there's my teddy bear. And to come home from the hospital, and it was such a long day, and wasn't my fault this time. Wrong bus, and I asked the guy, "Did you go to the central station?" Yes. Well, I don't think he understood, and turns out anyway. So I had to walk an extra 7 blocks that I shouldn't have because of where I'm at with my foot and the very serious things, and then of course I've got my crutches, and that kind of stuff, and the idea was to just get home and not be on my feet too much, and turned out that was unavoidable. And so what they did yesterday was they put this amazing device, kind of a suction device, and you can imagine now it all fits in the palm of your hand, and there's this little tube that goes down to a port on my foot that has constant suction pressure as they're trying to draw my foot, both sides of the incision where they did the surgery, to slowly close. It has to happen naturally. And it's the safest and fastest, and it's also the most expensive thing that they have in their arsenal. But in their healthcare system, once you're in the system and you have the legal right to the whatever, you don't pay it, and they don't care. They don't look at you as a number and a money, and it's about how can we heal you the best long term. I mean, they look at how is your spirit, how is your mental state, maybe some therapy. With me, they're so happy with my weight loss. I've lost a lot of weight. Many of you can notice, I have a neck again, and cheekbones, and it's coming, and so I'm working on it really hard, and a lot of water, and no carbohydrates, and I'm trying hard to make you all proud and understand that I'm taking this. I have to take this more serious than anything that I ever have in my life, because I won't make it again. I barely made it out of this alive, and they reiterated that to me yesterday, how serious the infection was, and they said they rarely have seen one that bad, and that for the first 2 weeks of me being in the hospital, they really thought I was going to die. And later I understood why every 4 hours they would wake me up no matter what and hang a new bag of antibiotics, and then I'd get a new shot of a different antibiotic, because they were hitting me from about 5 different directions with huge antibiotics, trying to get on top of this bacterial infection that had gotten in my toe when I was stubbed it and I was trying to go into the river to swim, to try to lose weight, And on the outside, my best friend Thomas and I, who he has medical training and he was in the military here, we treated it daily, and it looked like it was healing fine. And what we didn't understand was that the infection had moved past the skin and it went inside the toe, which is why we missed it. And that's what led kind of to this whole snowball of the effect. It wasn't that we weren't paying attention or I wasn't taking care of it. It was inside the toe. And so, long story short, they reminded me again. They're like, we're so thankful, because for at least 2 weeks we just didn't know that it was going to work. And again, all of your prayers and all the kind words and well wishes and good thoughts and just like come on, buddy, good luck. I know how hard a lot of you have been really rooting for me and trying to see me get through this and become the best Steve that I can be. And because you know me, and you know my heart, and I love that, and I hope that as I try to spread love and joy, that's rubbed off maybe on you. I hope so. I'm not perfect. We all make mistakes, but we have that ability to change and to evolve and hopefully become more compassionate, more loving, and that's not an easy journey sometimes, but we're on that, and I am too. And so yesterday was very hard, just logistically. The train had a problem. I had to take a bus, and it was tight and no leg room, and it just things that would aggravate my situation. All of that happened, and trying to get home and then getting on the wrong bus. I asked, and the guy's like, "Yep, wrong, nope." Ended up walking an extra 7 blocks, which normally I would relish wanting the exercise, but after they had put this special pad on with the pump and the thing and the tube and the hose, they just wanted me to get home as easy as I could with as little walking as possible. And unfortunately, last night the seal somewhere around the wound, which is big, so there's a lot of area to cover. I lost the seal, and so that being said, I did my best through the night, and there were several times that I tried to fix it and adjust it, add different tape, do things that kind of worked, and then by this morning, the pump was just beeping and would not stop beeping. And my nurse Greta was like, "Look, if this thing goes off, you have to call us, and most likely we need you to come back." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got you." Well, of course, I called the hospital, and they said, "We'll have your nurse call you," and she did. And then she's like, "Can someone drive you here?" And unfortunately, with very little notice, I couldn't, but I said I could take a train. And they're like, No. You walked way too much. Is there any other way? And I said, "Look, don't worry. I'll just go slow, and I'll take the train, and then if I have to, I'll take a cab from the station to the hospital." And she goes, "Hold on, don't go anywhere." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And so after about 5 minutes, Greta comes back on, and she says, "Well, I'm coming to you." And I was like, "What? You're doing a house call? Man, they're 2 hours away by car. It's about a 2-hour trip." And I go, How did you pull this off?" And she said, "Steve, we all love you. We know who you are. And this has been a horrible thing, and we all feel bad. And my boss authorized me, if I wanted to take my car, and she said they're paying me, and they're paying my miles." And I was like, "What?" And she said, "Nope, I'm coming to you." And I just, that would never happen back in America. Not anymore. We're years beyond that now, because the system, we don't have that. It's not ready. You just can't. It would never happen. And so I'm happy to say that Greta showed up. She just left, and the cool thing is she brought her mom. Can you imagine? I was blown away that her and her mom showed up on my doorstep, and they were here for an hour, and we opened everything up. Some things you just can't unsee. That's one of them. So I'm not sharing any photos. Don't ask. You don't want to see it. But, God, the love and the care, and she brought everything and anything she would ever need. I already had some supplies here ready, and we did it together. It was a little teamwork, but it was really her and her creative diligence to try to refit this and make it work. My surgeon did, God bless Gustav, he's like, "I just don't think it's going to work. If it didn't work, I'm not sure a second round will work." And she said, "Watch me." and she did. She made it work. And, you know, it just, it was so touching. And I just feel so blessed and loved. And, you know, I hate what I'm going through. I wish that that hadn't happened. It set back all of my auditions and trying to get my singing career going, all that back. But the response and the outpouring of love and giving has been amazing. And again, thank you for those of you who could donate. I know a lot of you can't. I understand the economy back home is very unique and different right now in the States. And I know that I've had a lot of people who are like, well, I'm waiting for payday. And I'm like, hey, don't break yourself here. You know, look, anything is better than nothing. And the numbers have jumped. And I've had some remarkable people who have done some beautiful things for me and helped donate money that I'm blown away with. And so thankful. And so, you know, thank you. But I just wanted to share with you, you know, my shock and my joy that these people, and I have her private cell number, and she's like, if anything goes wrong, you tell me. And then she had this bag of everything I could ever need. The really rare stuff, the hard tapes, all the things that I need, and the extra pads and the things, and, you know, just remarkable. And then to have her mom here, who's also a nurse at the same hospital. And unfortunately, they're a state hospital, so I can't just organize a fundraiser that goes to them. But we did figure something out. They are big fans of my Hagrid costume. And so Hagrid is going to pay a visit to Yavla Central Sukhus, and especially the children's ward. And Hagrid is going to have a lot of fun taking pictures with people in their hospital, with their doctors and their nurses. And that's the least that I can do. And Hagrid might do some singing. And I've already been asked about maybe Christmas concerts and the beautiful cathedral up here in Yarvsu, the Yarvsu Shorkan. You know, I'm hoping to be able to do something at Christmas time there again. And then I'll invite everybody. And anybody who's been in the hospital, who's had anything to do with me, you just show your ID, you're from the hospital, you don't pay, you just come in. And then at a point in the show, I would love to honor them for all the love and the hard work and dedication that they do for everybody. Isn't just me. And that's the beautiful thing, is that's their system here. And I couldn't believe her big boss authorizing her to have the overtime and the travel compensation to drive 2 hours one way because they were so worried about me. You know, that's huge. And it's love and it's compassion on a large scale within their own medical system, because they understood my dilemma and they just desperately did not want me to have to walk 3 blocks to the train station, take the train, 2 blocks to the bus stop, 2-block walk into the hospital and repeat and all that kind of stuff because of how serious this is and the fact that it is healing. They don't want that trend to change and stop. So, you know, I just wanted to share that with you, and because it's so, I'm still emotional. They just left. You know, I offered, the pizzeria's next door, can I buy you a beer and pizza? Anything? Are you hungry? And they're like, no. She goes, I just have to get back. You know, that's all. And then I'm realizing, you know what? She has other patients. They need her help in the hospital. And she's on the clock. And she was very right. So we didn't take any more time than we needed to. But, you know, I just wanted to share that's another beautiful gift of God, that how for me, this is how I see God works through other people, or how the Great Spirit works, or how the energy of the world works, or karma, whatever you want to call it. I got to see more of that today, and it moves me, and it warms my heart, and it gives me hope. It gives me hope that I'm going to be okay, and it's a team effort. So I'm doing the best that I can. I'm drinking loads of water. I'm eating. I got my apples and no carbs and a lot of protein and, and tuna fish and more water and my vitamins and my supplements, and thank God, my sweet brother Bobby, aka Alex, he's like, you need to be on CoQ10. I want iron and magnesium, and like I took notes, and my brother's like, you need to do. I'm like, okay, and I got all the stuff. I'm so proud of them. They're on their anniversary right now in Palm Springs, and have fun, guys. Love you, but. I'm trying to do all the things, and then, I fall back, on my 2-pound crucifix, and that's been good for me, and I think about Dawn and Lena Bonsgard and all the love and all of you who pray for me, and we just have to love each other. It's not easy sometimes, but you're doing it, and I'm trying too. So thank you. And again, I just wanted to share this special moment that just happened. I never in a million years, I was so worried today. I'm like, oh no, okay. And then I geared up, and I'm like, Steve, buck up, buddy. Come on now. If you got to get trussed up and, put on your back brace and get your crutches and head to the train station, you do it, because you got to do what you have to do sometimes, not because you want to, but because you have to. So I was trying to prep myself and gear up for that, and then for them to say, you know what, that's unacceptable, we're coming to you. I just, it's a beautiful example of a state-run healthcare system. This is nothing like what it's painted as. Nothing like what it is painted as back in America. And I wish that you who are watching, who are back home in the States, could have this type of care that costs you nothing. So we'll keep that in mind, and I'll keep praying for everybody, and just know that I love you, and I just wanted to share this with you, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and just know that I love you. So take care, and bless you all, and we'll chat again. I'll keep you posted. All right, you guys. Okay. You take care. Bye-bye.